first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. It's been a few days since you last saw me. You actually saw me this Friday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Happy Taco Tuesday. Hope everyone's off to a great week. Hope everybody's staying safe. This is episode 14 of the Big Nate Talk Podcast, Season 4. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. I have uploaded Season 3, the remains of Season 3, Season 4, on Anchor. That'll go to Spotify. So I'm up to date with uploading you're up to the last current episode 13. This episode will be published tomorrow, episode 14. I got a couple of videos coming down the pipe. Day to Day, aka Peanut, reached out and wants to be interviewed. So I sent him an email trying to reach out to him. I reached out to him about what time he wants to do the interview. He wanted to do Sunday. Anthony Handy, a.k.a. Mr. Fingers, who was on with me Friday. We're going to do a video with him, 6:30. So we're going to have that video. I want to give a special thank you to Sean Spencer, Sydney Swinton, Anthony Handy, Abs, all from the Let's Talk Football crew for joining me on a great video. That video actually has 100 views. Thank you to those that came out and supported that video. It's much appreciated. Again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Great content. You're going to love it. I do appreciate the support I've been getting on the channel and on the podcast as well, particularly on Anchor and Spotify. So I do appreciate it. As far as tonight's episode goes, there's a couple things I want to do. We're going to recap. This is a kind of a horrible week, in my personal opinion, for football. Washington Wizards are in first place. A couple MLB awards were announced, and we're going to talk about the University of Maryland playing Michigan this weekend. And I got to update you guys with the men and women's Terrapins basketball, and also to Towson Tigers basketball. So, and then also too, we're talking about the Washington Mystics. I wanted to touch on that and give my 2 cents. So, before we get into the video, I don't know what to feel. I feel good. When I made that guarantee that the Washington football team was going to beat the Buccaneers, I was confident. The Buccaneers haven't been playing great as of late. We can all listen. We can all talk about, they brought back 22 starters. I know they've been dealing with injuries, but there is something called a championship hangover. And what's going on, Ant? Good to see you, sir. And Bruce Arians, I didn't really appreciate some of the comments that he came, Mr. Late Night getting. I didn't appreciate some of the comments that he was saying, particularly where he said they played stupid or they played dumb. I can't remember the press conference on hand. Listen, that comes down to coaching as well. We know that the defensive didn't have a good game, but nobody expected Tampa Bay to come out and play like that. But with that being said, Unfortunately, the Washington football team, we won, but at a loss. Um, Mr. Chase Young tore his ACL.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And that stings. That really does. Couple things I took away from the game. Washington was stuck with the run game. Even though we only averaged 2.8 yards per carry, AG played one hell of a game. Taylor Heineke, honestly, when I looked at that game, when I watched the game Sunday, he really only had one bad pass. And, unfortunately, it was in coverage to DeAndre Carter, but Tom Brady was not sacked. Jonathan Allen definitely gave it to their offensive line. And then Joey Sly. We cut Chris Blewett. You listen, three or five, and some of those were in the cut. He just was not good. I don't even know why I don't know whose idea was to sign him, but thank God he's gone. Made all 3 field goals. Joey Sly. I knew the game was over when they went for it, because they went down 19 on that 80-yard drive, which lasted 10 minutes, 19 plays. They gave Antonio Gibson the ball 10 times. And then particularly on that 4th down play, that 6-yard reception, because they got the Heineke. They didn't sack it, but they got to him. So it was a good game. Overall, it is unfortunate that we lost Chase Young, and Montez is out with a broken jaw. We go up against Carolina, who signed Cam Newton.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
So we're gonna see how that looks. Last year, November, Carolina beat us. That was the game with the Dwayne Haskins tucked his tail after getting benched after a lethargic performance and left the arena.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
So this is actually Ron Rivera's this will be his first trip to Carolina. So we play the Carolina Panthers next. Next, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
Yes, and both of them are out. Chase is out for the year, and Montez is out with a jaw injury. Final score, 41-14. It's over for the Las Vegas Raiders, ladies and gentlemen. Between, the Gruden emails, Henry Ruggs, and then Mr. The corner, Averett. It's just been a mess with the Raiders. Darren Waller hasn't looked the same since coming off his injury. Derek Carr is doing the best he can. The Raiders just got their ass whooped. I'm sorry, they just got their ass whooped. Patrick Mahomes threw 70% of his passes and threw for over 406 yards, if I remember correctly, in the game. Correct? I apologize. Something's in my eye, y'all. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce looked like what we've been kind of expecting them to look like. They both had combined 15 catches for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Darrell Williams, had 144 yards and a touchdown. And I was facing somebody in fantasy football, shout out to Janae Strother. She had him on the bench, and he had 34 points. And I actually thank God she did not start him. Derek Carr in the offense had a combined 229 yards.
Relationship with your
Oh my
children.
God.
I'm sorry, 299 yards, not 229. I apologize. No answers. Running the ball, Oakland only rushed for 50 yards. Oakland's defense was virtually slaughtered. They allowed 516 yards, and also they gave up a combined 12 of 18 third and fourth down conversions. It was pretty ugly. And then on top of that, they didn't make any adjustments. So, and listen, it's all over for the Raiders. The season's a wash. With all the mess that's going on right now, and shout out to Mark Davis. He attended the funeral of the young lady. I think her name is Tina Trader. I think that's her name. Funeral, and it's just a mess right now. That was embarrassing. That really was. And the staff part. Let me pull the standings real quick. In the AFC West, you still have Oakland. So you have Denver at 500, Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders are both 5-4, and the Chiefs are 6-4. This is still anyone's division. So let's transition to Monday Night Football game last night.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
Let me apologize to Lucinda Baxter. We all went against the 49ers. Fun fact, up until last night, San Francisco is 5-0 against the Rams. And the final score, San Francisco 31, Los Angeles 10. This is why we need to be careful when we talk about a quarterback or a certain player. They make this team look good. The last 2 weeks, Matt Stafford's been out of sync, and he had 243 yards, a touchdown. He got picked off twice. He threw the ball 41 times, and in case in point, Robert Woods is out for the season with a torn ACL. Guys were dropping passes, to me, you're coming into this game. This is championship or bust. You're going up against a team that obviously who's been holding its own, but it's not really the same team. You got to come in there with a different type of swagger and say what you want. You got to give San Francisco the ball. You got to give them credit. They ran the ball 44 times. Jimmy Garoppolo had passed for 182 yards. Mr. Deebo Samuel was your MVP.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
5 for 97. Looked all good. Looked really good out there. It's funny. I had San Francisco's defense in my fantasy football, and the early turn, those 2 interceptions were big for them. So, Los Angeles had no answers. Running the ball, passing, no answers. Even in the second half, I thought Los Angeles would have made the adjustments. I didn't see that. Again, coming off, I would think, coming off a loss to a Derrick Henry-less Titans team, you would think that there'd be some adjustments. Now, I'm not going to expect Odell to come in there and instantly know the playbook right away. But I would think you would find a way to get him involved. Like there was one play, and you could tell the play was broken. I think Stafford expected Beckham to continue moving, continue to go deep down the field, and and he picked it off. It was an interception. Higbee, I'm going to put the second interception Stafford threw. I'm going to say that's more on Higbee than anything because it wasn't Higbee's hand, and he just butterfingers. Los Angeles run defense. I would think with you got the addition of Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and those boys, they struggled to get off the field. Particularly in the first half, I think where San Francisco converted all 5 third down conversions, and then they allowed San Francisco offensively to average, I think it was like 9 yards per play, I want to say, and then the 2 red zone opportunities. That's not going to win you football games. So I'm really hoping that the Rams get it together. I know San Francisco, they're going to go to Jacksonville, and we all know that they're going to go off on Jacksonville.
Guaranteed.
And then Los Angeles going into a bye week. So it should be interesting. Hopefully that the Rams take a deep breath, Musa, and get together. Because this is, ladies and gentlemen, I have been real critical. Shout out to Sean Spencer, Anthony Handy. They know I have been critical of the Rams. This is championship or bust. Because they've broken the bank and they're going all out and they can't afford any mistakes. Let's recap week 10. So let's see how we did. The Titans pulled a victory out against the Saints 23-21. The Buffalo Bills demolished the New York Jets 45-17. Game of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers gave the Detroit Lions their first tie. I'm sorry, let me say it again. Scratch it off the record. We saw our first tie of the NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers could not get the job done against the Detroit Lions.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
Final score 16-16. I think it was Formoth who should have went out of bounds. Make no sense to me. No timeouts, and why did you go out of bounds? Question. Didn't they just draft a guy by the name of Najee Harris? Why did he not get the ball? Why did Mason Rudolph throw the ball 50 times? And listen, I tried to come to defense of Jared Goff, but he looked bad out there. And the Lions had opportunities to win this game too. That field goal, he's not really a good field goal kicker. He's decent, but not that good. I knew he was going to miss it. But that was disappointing to see. So for the Detroit Lions, congratulations for not losing, but you got a tie. So I consider that a morale boost. And yeah.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Let's continue. The Indianapolis Colts defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-17. The New England Patriots demolished those Cleveland Browns 45-7. Okay, did not expect that. And obviously, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
The Carolina Panthers defeated the Arizona Cardinals 34-10. Cam Newton was definitely back. I just want to say this really quick for the record. I feel like there's this narrative that's been created that I'm hating on Cam Newton. And I want to say for the record, I don't hate on. I'm a fan of Cam Newton. But let's call it what it is. He is not the same Cam Newton we knew him from a few years ago. Here's the question, I think the biggest elephant in the room that's really not being asked. Last year, Carolina could have had signed him before he went to New England. Well, he was in New England last year. They could have picked him up before the season started. Why didn't they? Why was Cam Newton cut in the first place? But listen, we could all say one about Sam Darnold. I think a lot of it is just me personally. I think it's coaching. I think it's the system. I have came to Sam Darnold's defense. I feel like Adam Gase ruined him. I really do. I just don't think this is going to work when you have a plethora of other issues Carolina's having. Yeah, okay, it was great to see him and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Cam Newton had 2 touchdowns. That's great. But I understand he's an energy plug. I just don't see this working. And I hope Cam Newton proves me wrong. I'm not hating on the guy. I don't know where that narrative came from that I'm hating on him and don't want him back in the league. I want him back in the league. But also, too, let's understand, Cam Newton has a kind of a big personality. And it's documented. He made it clear he wants to be a starter. Now, Robbie Anderson was all smiles and giggles now that Cam Newton's back. I kind of wanted to see that with Sam Darnold. But I get it. Maybe you're not happy. Guys aren't happy with certain quarterbacks. That's either here nor there. So, and it's kind of ironic they have the same hairstyle, but that's a whole other story for another day. So I'm happy for Cam. I really am. I just want to get that off for the record. I don't know where that narrative came from, that there's just that I have a hatred towards Cam Newton. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Los Angeles Chargers 27-20. The Green Bay Packers, they blanketed the Seattle Seahawks 17-0.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And that was with Russell Wilson coming off an injury. I don't know what they saw in him to come back and play, especially off an injury like that. DK Metcalf, oh my Lord, did not have a good game. But it also tells me with the Seahawks, without Russell Wilson, they need his value. They need him just as much as he needs them, if that makes sense. And particularly when you're in Green Bay, we all know the weather at their Lambeau Field is cold as hell. And particularly any injury with the hand, especially when you're trying to throw it, it's tough. Russell Wilson tried, but they couldn't get anything going. I was disappointed. So, and the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Denver Broncos 30-13. I'm not going to play that Vic Fangio clip. I'm not going to do that. So that was week 10 of the NFL. Let's see. I can't remember what I said in the video, but I think I did decent for week 10. I did actually go. Now I'm on a 3-game win streak in fantasy football, thanks to Cooper Kupp. So, NFL news. Brett Favre owes a little over $228,000 for to pay back a nonprofit organization. He still has to pay that. I think he's paid like 400 and something of that. Joey Bosa and Jerry Tillery were on the COVID list. What else? Elijah Mitchell broke his finger again last night. Trent Brown for the Patriots, it was kind of a little scary. I was reading this article on NFL.com. Talking about he almost died during an IV issue last season. I didn't go all further in depth with it, but that was kind of like oh, wow. Washington lost a legend in Sam Huff. Sam Huff was a good little commentator and good football player back in the day. My thoughts and prayers out to his family. Lost a good man. The Baltimore Ravens cut Le'Veon Bell today. It just didn't work. He really struggled. I mean, he had the one touchdown against Minnesota, but it's not what we're looking for. And I think also too, we're trying to shape things up. We haven't looked good these last few games, particularly when it comes to the run game. And I'm going to get into that Wednesday-ish with the video. So, yeah, it hasn't been working with him. So I wish him all nothing but the best. I'm pretty sure somebody will pick him up for sure. Teddy Bridgewater kind of is under there's water over the bridge after he didn't show any effort on the Darius Slay interception, which made no sense to me. You get paid. You're a professional. I understand he had a bad game. He was probably frustrated in the moment. But come on, man, that's not right. TJ Watt is good news. It's nothing serious. There was no structural damage according to the reports by Ian Rappaport. Now they said in the article if there was a game like next week, he wouldn't play because they said he was really sore. It was like really bad. So, and Minka Fitzpatrick is on the COVID list, so it's not looking really good right now. Right now with the Steelers, and they're trying to get Big Ben back as well because he has to get 2 negative COVID tests to play in the next game. So, what else happened? I'm just looking to see if I missed anything here in the news. Oh, Jared Goff also too has an oblique injury, so we don't know where his status is at the moment. What else? I'm trying to see, did I miss anything in my notes? Yeah, back to the Bruce Arians, where he said we are a very dumb football team. That I don't like when coaches say that, particularly because I think that starts with you as a coach, where you have to learn where you have to prepare your players better. And yeah, they haven't been playing well these last couple of weeks, but again, like I told you, it's championship hangover. Because when he says we're a very dumb football team, there's going to be some guys in the locker room. Well, who is he talking about? Is he talking about me? Is he talking about Tom? Like, what are we talking about? So I think some of the blame has to put on Bruce Arians. I do. Let's transition to basketball. The Washington Wizards are in first place, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
Listen, a lot of the credit, I think, you got to start with Tommy Shepard. Tommy Shepard knows basketball, and he had a vision. He had a vision for this team, and the way this roster is constructed. I also got to give Wes Unseld Jr. a shout out. He's brought a different type of swagger back to this team, particularly defensive minded. First, we look really better. We're fourth in defensive rating with 102.7 according to my notes here. We're ranked 18th, 107.5 points, and They're looking really good. Man, it's just the way Monday after that atrocious first half against the Pelicans, we overcame a 19-point deficit to win that game. And we didn't have Bradley Beal. We didn't have Rui Hashimura, Davis Bertans, and Thomas Bryant. Didn't have that. Fun fact, when Bradley, I think without those guys, they went 2-10 last year. When Bradley sits, we're 3-0. So that was an interesting fun fact. It's just, look, I really think this team's looking really good. I'm not going to go as far as saying, oh, they're a champion contender. But you see improvements. You really do. Particularly, like I said, on the defensive side. And over to the way the team is built. You know, when you trade Russell Westbrook, who I think is a great player, but it just wasn't going to work at Washington. I said if you had the same team from last year, no. You know, you got Kuzma, Harrell, KCP. I still think they can go out and probably get like a Reggie Bullock. You know, when Rory comes back, when Thomas Bryant comes back, you know, watch out. Now, I know Bradley Beal didn't play Monday because his grandmother passed away, so I'm sending my thoughts and prayers out to him and his family for sure. But we're on a 5-game win streak, okay? And we got a 2-game road trip. Starts in Charlotte. We got to play those. We got to go see LiAngelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. And a couple things. Bradley Beal most likely probably won't play. Bertans out with a knee injury. Rory is out. It's non-injury related. And Thomas Bryant still recovering from his knee injury. But PJ Washington on the other side is out too. I think it's like an elbow injury. Like I said, we're 10-3. We're on a 5-game win streak. Charlotte's 8-7. We won again. Orlando. We beat Orlando and New Orleans without Bradley Beal. Washington looks really good. But we're going against Charlotte, who leads the Eastern Conference in points, which is like 113, which I looked at, versus Washington, which is like 108, something like that. And they're on a 3-game win streak themselves. Now, I will say this. Washington is struggling. According to the stats, I think they're struggling. It's like 46% from the field. No, they're shooting better than Charlotte because Charlotte's shooting like 44. No, 40. I actually rounded it up. It was like 44.9, like 45%. But Washington's making more. Washington struggles from the 3 compared to Charlotte, who's actually a little bit of a better 3-point team. The key is we're going to put pressure on LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and Terry Rozier. They attempt like 7 to 8 shots, particularly against the Golden State Warriors. That was actually a good game. And then Kelly Oubre also, too. I can't forget about him. So without Beal, I never going to expect Spencer Dinwiddie to carry the load, but I don't want that for him. He definitely, against Orlando, I think he had, 23, 11, and 6. Good game from him. Against the Pelicans, it was 27, 5, and 9. And I think he had turned the ball over 1 or 2 or 3 times. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Cartavious Caldwell-Pope. He's actually having good little season, off to a good start so far. He's shooting 58% from the field. So, and you know, he's a 3-point specialist. So I think it's going to be a good game for Washington. If they can do those things, again, like I said, keep Ball, Bridges, Oubre, Rozier, and Chet, and defensive mind first. Three and D. I think that's the key. We do that, we're okay. So, but I think the Washington Wizards will beat the Charlotte Hornets. It's going to be a good game. So, I can't wait to see that. So, congratulations to the Wizards. Keep up the good work. I am proud of these boys. I really am. It's really good to see Wizard basketball. I haven't seen that when we had Paul Pierce and Randy Whitman as our head coach. It's starting to look good. And you got to get Wes Unseld and Tommy Shepard. They're doing one hell of a job. And you got to give Beal and these boys props. They're playing really great basketball in DC. I'm proud of these boys. NBA news. Want to send my thoughts and prayers out again to Dave Jogger. He's stepping away from assistant coach for the Sixers, undergoing treatments for cancer. I saw the statement on Bleacher's Report, and it was in his head and neck. So, he's going to step away from that. So I want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Dave. The Minnesota Timberwolves were fined $250,000 for players doing stuff that could get them in trouble in Miami. According to the article, it said, quote, I have the quote here, from arranging or paying for off-season practice or group workout sessions for their players outside the team's home market. And, you can't do that. Really smart. What else happened? I read an article. Giannis made the cover of GQ. Congratulations. Where he talked about he's not sure if the challenge is in Milwaukee. I don't know what he meant by that. I guess maybe he's kind of like thinking like he's moving on at some point from Milwaukee. He's definitely, in the time he's been in Milwaukee, he's won a chip, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP. I don't know where that came from. So I don't know. Is he not happy? Does he just want to move on? I don't know what, but I hope he does stay. DeMar DeRozan talked about he thought he was going to go to the Lakers. He said it was a done deal, and then they traded him to Chicago. And it's working out for the Bulls because they're tied. They're second place. They played a great game against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Wizards and the Bulls, both really surprising teams. So I like it for sure. Kate Cunningham is back. Looked good out there. Evan Mobley's out 4 weeks. He sprained his right elbow. Luka Doncic did not play against the Suns. He sprained his ankle. Zion Williamson, we don't know when he's coming back. They said he's close to playing, but we really have been on him about they have been on him about his weight. And the Golden State Warriors got to again give Lucinda a shout out. Steph Curry, MVP.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Just imagine when Klay Thompson comes back too.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Now I'm starting to get mad. Let me talk about Damian Lillard. Okay. I want to pull the NBA. I want to pull up the standings. So I've heard people talking about it back and forth. He's not happy. I think his time in Portland's done. He's done all he could do in Portland. Him and CJ McCollum. And ladies and gentlemen, this is I want you just stay with me, follow me. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about Lamar Jackson needing help. This is what I mean. Other than Norman Powell and CJ McCollum, what does Damian Lillard have? He doesn't have anything. Now the Portland Trailblazers are going to have to figure some things out because I think I believe the general manager actually just stepped down for something he should not have been doing. I think it was a sexual allegation, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm that real quick. Because he's either going to leave or they're going to get him some help. It's either A or B. Like this ain't brain surgery. This is not rocket science. We could all talk about, it's a new system with Chauncey Billups and all this other stuff. But when you have gone to your front office, is a CEO, Chris McGowan, he's mid workplace investigation. That's what it was. I apologize. When you go to your front office, if I say, let me use myself as an example. If I'm the star of a team and I say, I really would like this coach to be the coach for this team, and front office goes, no, we kind of want somebody else. He wanted Jason Kidd, but then these headlines about him, something that with the domestic violence allegation 21 years ago popped up. Okay, I want this coach. No. Like, when you're a star on a team and you're saying you need, and this is what you want, and the team's not giving you what you want, you do become unhappy. You do become a bit distant. I don't want to go as far. Some people were saying he's not motivated. He's not all in. I just don't think he's happy. And I feel bad for Damian Lillard because if you look at his numbers this year compared to last year, he's having a down year. And I think a lot of it just has to do with they're 7-8. Like, it ain't working. We have seen this same thing, and I don't know what it's going to take. Now, when he leaves, it's going to be egg on Portland's face because what are you going to do? Now, when we say help, we're not talking about go out there and get LeBron James. Go out there and get Kevin Durant. Get me some pieces that know their roles, know what they're doing. They had, and don't give me, well, they had the pieces last year, or they had LaMarcus Aldridge, Nicholas Batum in them. That was, 5-6 years ago. Portland's had numerous opportunities to go out and get some help for Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. I mean, you can also put injuries in that, but at the end of the day, it's a wrap. I think he's done. I really do, and I hope that the Sixers prove me wrong, but it's not working. Darren Williams, former point guard, Mr. $98 million man, is going up against Frank Gore. I don't know what to feel about that. Something tells me Frank Gore is going to win that fight.
Guaranteed.
Oh, God. I don't know what to feel about that. But yeah, that's what I saw around the NBA. I meant to talk about it in the last episode, but because of time, I wanted to say, okay, I'll talk about this next. But that's what's going on in the NBA. Let's transition into Major League Baseball. The Major League Baseball Awards were announced for Rookie of the Year. Congratulations to Jonathan India for the Cincinnati Reds and Randy Arozarena for the Tampa Bay Rays. Excuse me. Congratulations to both. Jonathan India was a 5th overall pick in 2018. He hit a 269 batting at 269, 376, 459 slash 21 home runs, 34 doubles. He played 150 games and stole the base 12 times. Reza Reyna, surprisingly, Wander Franco, who was my pick, and Luis Garcia, he got 20. Reza Reyna got 22 of the 30 votes. I want to know how many votes Ryan. Actually, hold on. How many votes did Ryan Mountcastle get? Thank you. I want names. Ryan Mountcastle got 2 second-place votes and 4 third-place votes. Wow. Are you serious? Okay. Okay. All right. That's all right. That's all right. Right back. Kelsey did his thing. That's all right. We're not gonna worry about that. Ariza Reyna had 20 home runs, 32 doubles, and stole the base 20 times, and was a big part of the Devil Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays winning 100 games this year. Tonight, they were supposed to announce Manager of the Year. I did not see anything regarding who had gotten the award for Manager of the Year in the National League and American League, respectively. I didn't see anything. So let me just give you the candidates for that. Was Kevin Cash for the Rays, Dusty Baker for the Astros, Scott Service for the Mariners, and for the National League, Gabe Kepler, Craig Counsell, and Mike Shield, who was manager for the Cardinals, but they parted ways with him. So I think Dusty Baker and Gabe Kepler are going to be your managers of the year for the AL and ML. For the AL and NL, excuse me. And then, so we'll continue to follow that. So as far as some MLB news, we already got some couple free agent signings. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim makes no sense. They'll always, to me, be the Anaheim Angels. I know some old school that remember them as the California Angels. Noah Syndergaard and the Angels agreed to a 1-year deal worth $21 million.
Bullshit.
I think that's overkill. I'm a fan of Noah Syndergaard. $21 million. Like, check this out, right? Artie Monroe, I think that's his name. He's the owner. We've seen this same story numerous times. Paying cheap pitchers on the cheap, these 1-year experiments, and they don't work. The Angels aren't going anywhere. They just gave Anthony Rendon. They just paid Anthony Rendon. I think that actually might hurt them a little bit because he missed a season with an injury. Mike Trout is starting to look human with injuries, and you've arguably got Shohei Ohtani, who he's going to command some money. So you're not really building a championship team. And that's kind of the concerning part for me, per se, because if you're trying to build a team, why are you building it this way? And this past draft, their draft was nothing but pitchers. So I think a lot of this is ownership kind of taking over. I'm not a fan of this move. I like Noah Syndergaard, but I think that's overkill. And I just don't think it's going to work. Now, my concern is when you got guys like Max Scherzer and other pitchers out there, they're gonna fall. They're gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And the Angels have a history of signing guys. It just don't work. These 1 year experiments don't work. They don't. It truly doesn't. So we'll see where it goes. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to Detroit. I think the contract was like 5 years, a 5-year deal. And interesting. Eduardo Rodriguez was a former Oriole prospect and went to the Boston Red Sox. So for sure, I think that kind of bolsters their bullpen. I was kind of hoping a guy like Matthew Boyd would have stepped up for sure. They got some pieces. I think they got some pieces to compete to be a playoff team. I don't think they're right there as far as championship, but they definitely hung around this past season. So good move. I think it's a good move for the Tigers. What else happened? The Pirates, they cut Taylor Anderson, Phillip Evans, and Taylor Davis. Trying to revamp the roster. Carlos Correa made a very, very asinine statement stating that Derek Jeter should not have won. He said did not deserve any of those 5 Gold Gloves.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
That's all I'm gonna say. I think you're smoking something, Carlos. I really do. I'm a fan of Carlos Correa, but you crazy. You really are. Listen, even though the Yankees are my rival team, I watched Derek Jeter, and again, quoting the regular Ravens fan, trust your eyes. And that man, Derek Jeter, was there was Cal Ripken. I mean, then Derek Jeter. Come on now, I know you're. I'm leaving it alone. Go out, touch some grass. Okay. Julio Lugo, former Oriole and Brave and Red Sox, passed away at 45. Had a heart attack. I remember Julio Lugo. He played for us. That team was really interesting. I think we had Cesar Torres on that team as well. So I just want to give my thoughts and prayers to Julio Lugo's family. Good little shortstop. Was on that 2007 championship Boston Red Sox team. For sure. What's in my thoughts and prayers? Where are we at in time? We're actually looking pretty good. That was the news. So want to transition into college football. I got to talk about my Maryland Terrapins. We lost against lost last week, this past weekend. We go up against Michigan. Just real quick, Maryland's 5-5. We're 2-5 in the Big Ten, and we're going up against number 8 Michigan, who's 9-1 and 6-1 in the Big Ten. Talia Tagovailoa is not what I thought he would be. But he's, oh my God. I'm going to leave that alone. This is also going to be senior day. So we got 25 seniors in this game. And also, too, they're going to honor Jordan McNair, who passed away due to the negligence of the coaching staff. And that should not happen to any athlete. If an athlete's saying something where you're not feeling well, they're tired, thirsty, it doesn't matter. you cut practice or you let them take a break. That should not have happened. After, I will say this. In the last 3 games for Maryland, Tulia's thrown for over 1,000 yards. And but we're not, it's not clicking, particularly defensively. I know Bennett, he actually leads with 13 pass breakups. Defensively, we look pretty. We're not looking good. I don't know. I think Coach he's a good scout, but I think I don't think he's really a like head coach, if that makes sense. I think he's a good scout. He'd be more like a good athletic director for the football team. But I kind of am hoping that they do come out and at least put 24 on Michigan. I know Sean Spencer and Cat Hughes are going to really talk some trash, but you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think the University of Maryland on Senior Day is going to upset Michigan.
Guaranteed.
Basketball. So far, so good. Where the men's and women are looking pretty well so far. For the men, I looked at the standings. Right now, we're 3-0. So far, it's kind of like a preseason, but we're looking. I would say it's a preseason. We just actually beat Vermont, 68-57, and we beat George Mason 71-64. So far, it's looking good, pretty good. Maryland actually just signed a recruit, so it's pretty good. The women are looking pretty good as well. I will say this. Unfortunately, we did lose Ashley Owansu. She did injure her ankle, I believe it was. She rolled her ankle. It was a fast break of the third quarter. We played James Madison, which we won that game. We blew them out 81-45. So she definitely, I didn't really hear I've been following to see what Brenda, Coach Freeze had to say about that. That kind of, I don't want to say that stings, but she is a big piece of that offense scoring wise, but I think Diamond and the rest can definitely carry the load for sure. We play Mount St. Mary's. Actually, yeah, we played them. Played them yesterday. So Maryland is number 3. Let me just check the score and see what happened. But we actually played there. So yeah, we won. We're 4-0, 98-57. We beat the Mount St. Mary Mountaineers. And we play UNCW today. Well, University of North Carolina at Wilmington, the Seahawks. And we got a good game of the week, so we'll probably preview that with Mr. Anthony Handy Sunday on the Video Friday. We play the Baylor Lady Bears Sunday. That should be a good game. Like, I'm gonna definitely be tuned in for that one for sure. But it's looking pretty good for the Terrapins men and women's basketball. I've been trying to follow the football team for Maryland. Some of these games have been an eyesore to watch. I like to be surprised Indiana. I think Maryland, as far as the football team, I think they're going to get an invite to a bowl game, if not made, hopefully. But 25 seniors. Congratulations to those guys. I wish them all well as they're getting ready to probably most likely graduate and move on to bigger, better things in life. I'm really proud of those guys. I really am. I also want to give a shout out to my the school I attend, University of Towson. Go Tigers. The men's is 2-1. We just came off a win against Hampton University. This Friday we go play against Pitt. For the women, we look really good. Let me just look at the schedule real quick. Oh, it's hard. It's been also kind of hard to keep up with Towson basketball. The Lady Tigers are 3-1. We came up. We actually just lost Monday to North Carolina State University. We essentially got dubbed. The final score was 152. But we got our first game on the 23rd against Millersville University. And then we got Howard University. That'll be a win. So got a good little squad in there. Got a good little squad for both the men and ladies. So the men off to an actually good start. We actually got an invitation, Las Vegas Invitational on Thanksgiving Day against San Francisco University. So really looking good out there. Looking good out there for sure. So keep up the good work, y'all. Both schools respectively. Wanted to talk about the Washington Mystics, and I'm actually glad we're on time here. I apologize. So, sorry. I think I've made it known since I started this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm a Mystic fan. I love the Washington Mystics. It was a really good season for the WNBA. And the Washington Mystics, I wrote an article on Sports Foundation, and if I remember, I'll leave the article in the description for you guys to read. It's with 2019, we have to get past that. We're not the same team we were 2 seasons ago. Granted, injuries, free agency, a pandemic, you take all that in consideration. But our record says what we are. We should not have made the playoffs. And looking back on the season, I'm glad we didn't make the playoffs. Because there's a lot of things that the Washington Mystics have to do going forward. When we acquired Tina Charles, first I was shocked. I did not expect that to happen. I was also not expecting Elena Deladon's back injury to be nagging this long. I didn't expect Emma Masonman to be overseas. I noticed Maisha Hines-Allen's productivity slowly declined, dipped in what it was in the bubble. Natasha Cloud, the first half of the season, wasn't 2018, 2019 Natasha. They picked it up in the second half. Consistency on that bench was disappointing. My point is that this was not a championship team, and I'm looking at the Mystics going forward. I just don't see Tina coming back. I just don't. And we have to, I think that's a reality that, I hate to say it, Coach T, for those who don't know, Mike Tebow is going to have to face. It's a reality. Tina Charles wants to win a ring. When we traded for her, I think she was expecting a better team than what she had to work with this year. I mean, honestly and truthfully, she should have the scoring title. She really should, because she practically carried the whole damn team. And that's the disrespect, but that's fact. I'm looking at Elena Deladon. Elena Deladon's on the wrong side of 30, and we're now going into years. We're now going into year 2 and a back injury. That's telling to me. I'm looking at our salary cap. According to her Hoop stats, we don't have a lot of money. We're strapped. You got Maisha Hines-Allen, restricted free agent. Theresa Plassance, unrestricted. Shavonte Zellis, unrestricted. Shatori Walker, Kimbrell, unrestricted. And you got Megan Gustafson on a reserve contract. And then you also had Katie Blomquist suspended. After that, there's no championship team there. Oh, and also, too, not counting Tina Charles and Leilani Mitchell. Elena Deladon's under contract for the next season and the season after that. Natasha Cloud, next season and the season after that. And then you've got Sydney Weiss, Erica McCall, Ariel Atkins, and Alicia Clark under contract for next season. The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rebuild. It's time to rebuild it. I just don't. It's best for the team, and it's best going forward. Sorry. I remember the exit interview with Coach T, and I have the quote here. Quote, "I'm a big believer in the old Bill Parcells saying, you are what the scoreboard says you are. We were 12-20, and we had a lot of reasons. Some are good excuses, some are not. But the fact of the matter is we're not in rebuild mode, but we're in reset button mode. We need to reset our culture and how we go about things. We need to redevelop an identity. And I think we had an identity of being good, and I don't think we had an identity of being good at anything at all this year. From last year and then 2019, this team had no identity at all. I saw it, and I think he sees it. When we signed Alicia, I didn't expect the injury overseas. Elena Deladon played only really 1 game and a half. Wasn't ready to come back. When you look at this season alone, Washington in 2019, I believe they shot 47% from the field and shot 36.5% from three. They shot the league worst, 41% from the field, and 32%. They were 10th. 33, I'll round that up. Ladies and gentlemen, they also had 5 players below 40% from the field. Again, I watch the games. I watch. Leilani Mitchell, Sydney Weiss, 3-point specialists, 30% from 3. That can't happen. Injuries as well. Leilani Mitchell, Shatori Walker-Kimbrell, Megan Gustafson were the only 3 that had no injuries. The other 9 had injuries. I mean, Deladon, again, with the back injury, Natasha Cloud. Like, Even I remember in that extra interview, he said it himself. I didn't expect some of our girls to come in and play large minutes. I didn't expect that. And again, like, look, we don't have the talent. We just don't. I look at our salary cap. We can't make no splash. Like, I don't know what he's going to do. And I don't think you trading your lottery pick and trying to pull out another Elena Delle Donne part 2.0 is going to work. I don't. I think it's best you just rebuild, start all over again. Some may disagree. I doubt Coach T or any one of the Mystics will watch this this podcast. I doubt it or listen. But I'm looking at for what's best for the team going forward. Because let's just say, because you can't cut corners, how are you going to persuade someone like Tina Charles to come back and play for DC with this team? You can't cut corners because you're strapped with cap. I look at it like this: your two cornerstone pieces are Ariel Atkins and Maisha Hines-Allen. I think it's best you find a trade partner for Delle Donne. I would consider keeping Natasha Cloud, but if you can find something for her, why not? And I think you just build. You build on for the next couple years and just start over. I just don't think it's going to work. Not with this team. It hurts to say. And I said it, you're not going to see a lot of these girls, some of the that were on the team, you're not going to see them come back. It just didn't work. Because he was right. We weren't good at anything. Why we blowing 21-point leads, looking bad on defense. We're coming out half-assed against New York. You know, we had two opportunities to win games, and we wet the bed. Like, we got to look ourselves in the mirror. It's fact. Look, they just got to start over again. I'm leaving it at that. Listen, I'm not trying to show. I'm not this. This is no hate towards Coach T. I respect him. He's one of my favorite basketball coaches in the league. But I'm looking at this team going forward. It's just it's a ship that needs to go back to the yard and needs repairing. Start anew. Look, when he came in this team, when he came on board, 2013, he had a vision. Now I question some of the picks that he's taken, why he's giving up on them so quickly. Now, granted, you know, I could go down the list. Taylor Hill with the injuries, Stephanie Dolson and Bria Hartley were traded. Ali Maylott out of Dayton. Fun fact: 7 players that were better than her were drafted, and a couple of them are all-stars. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. Kiara Leslie, who we cut. Didn't have a pick 2020 because we gave up all 3 picks for Tina Charles. I don't know what he's going to do in this draft, but I really think it's best he starts over. I do. All right. So, couple things. One more topic, and I'm going to close out the podcast on this kind of positive, kind of Nathan on a soapbox movement. The Chicago Blackhawks. You know, I think the way that the situation has happened, with the whole sexual assault allegations, particularly in that championship run back in 2010, their GM, their president of hockey operations. He stepped down. I think it's sick. I think it's really, really sick. That as a league, this is a black eye. The fact that that nothing was done to not only protect players, but take a stance against things like this. Because players have been affected. You don't know what that does to a person's psyche, mentally, emotionally, physically. The fact that they gave that trainer letters of recommendation, and particularly also to the head coach, to allow those things to happen, I think that says more about our owners, because it lets me know of this good old boy networking system. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. The same thing with the NFL with these emails, and I guarantee you, it's going to get ugly. Because no way in hell you mean to tell me no owner knew about that. The fact that you were okay to allow this to happen, what does that say for other teams? How can I go into a locker room? This is with any sport, and knowing, damn, I play for this person, this owner's team. I'm bringing in money for him. And when something like this, an allegation that's serious, and I come to my front, come to you with it, and you sweep it under the rug and do nothing, how can I trust you? How can I come to my job happy? How can I perform knowing that, damn, they did nothing to protect us as players? Like, you can apologize all the things you want. You can apologize and say, we're really sorry this happened. It doesn't go against the values of what this team stands for.
Bullshit.
But at the end of the day, no. And wasn't the Coach Aldridge, I think that's his name? Where he was like, oh, it was consensual and all this. No. But the fact that, again, they've let this happen and done nothing. Kyle Beach is another example of that. The fact that you were dismissive of his allegations and the John Doe allegations, like I said, it goes back to what I said. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Well, actually, I take it back. Kyle Beach was the John Doe in that lawsuit. The NHL fined them $2 million. And the commissioner, I think his name is Gary Bettman, he apologized. But as a team, I mean, the Blackhawks, how do you it's hard to move on from it. But you know what? It takes every guy in that locker room to hold each other accountable, make sure everyone's well, okay. But as far as the league goes, this is a black eye. And every owner should be looking over his shoulder. So that's messed up. Listen, if there are things that are going on in the workplace and you know it's wrong, don't be afraid to speak up. Say something. Like Nas said it in one of my favorite songs, One Mic. All I need is one mic. It's all I need in this world. Fuck cash. And sometimes fuck the money. If I know something's not right and it goes against my beliefs, or I know that what they're doing is wrong culturally, or it goes against the values of the workplace, say something. Because if you don't say anything, the next person is going to get affected worse. Let's start holding people accountable. But with that being said, my closing message is this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on the holidays. And for me personally, I'm not really in the Thanksgiving mood. I'm just not. I'm not really in the holiday festivity mood neither. My birthday's coming up soon. I'm not really happy for that. I'm just going to be honest with you. If anything, this last year, what it's taught me, it's taught me a few things. This last few years, it's taught me how to appreciate life. It's taught me to take it one day at a time. It's also taught me to just try to strive to be better than what you are. We're all imperfect. We all make mistakes. You can't go back in the past and try to fix things. You try to make sure in the future you don't repeat the same mistake. The last couple years, particularly with the pandemic, I have tried to strive to be a decent person. We all have different things that go on within us individually. As somebody that was diagnosed with mild depression, this is therapy for me. When I made this podcast going on almost a year now, I would never think it would grow this much. And without it, I don't know where I'd be right now. A few years ago, I don't know where I'd be right now. And I want each and every one of you to just take a moment to just thank God for the many blessings that he's given you and I. They may not have been what you asked for. They may be small, you never knew. You just don't know. But I think it's really important to take a moment and reflect, because tomorrow's not promised. And particularly with the holidays, take this opportunity to reach out to loved ones, friends, and just say, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're okay. Because you don't ever know. You never know what a person's going through. And you don't know how the mood is for them. This pandemic has changed us in many ways. How we communicate with each other, how we deal with things technology-wise, how we once were so this, now we're this. COVID has shown a lot of good, bad, and ugly. But if you didn't take anything, but take this one thing away from this. Just thank God that you're allowed, you saw another day today. Just thank God. And just take a moment. Just praise him. And I have to thank God. I don't know where I'd be, honestly, without the direction of some that have helped me to try to get my life back on track. Dealing with things personally. It's not easy, but I'm taking it one day at a time. And I just want each and every one of you to just take it one day at a time and just let's try to do better. Let's try to put a smile on people's faces. Let's try to make positive in this pandemic. Let's try as a world, as a global community. Let's strive to do better. Let's make this world a better place. Because Jesus went to the cross and died for our sins. With that being said, y'all have a good night. Stay up.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.